Go with Tom.
Away goes the beautiful high converting puppy.
High converting puppies.
High converting puppy. Did you do anything exciting this weekend, Carson?
Did I do anything exciting this weekend? I watched the same weird shed burn down twice.
Did you go down and chat with the boys?
No,
the firefighters, and be like, hey, fellas,
No.
how can I help out?
No, Taylor's terrified of the fire department.
Oh.
Of like the truck and all the noises it makes.
Freya's not, because Dalmatians are meant to be at a firehouse. I think that's why. Either they're selectively bred for this, they usually have deafness. I think that kind of... Do you know about sirens all day?
Okay.
Bet you didn't know that. Dalmatians are sometimes deaf. Let's get into it. Play the intro. Do, 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 do. You've come to the realization we need more customers and fast. But is there really a proven shortcut? Or is the whole idea of overnight results just mostly hype? I'm Josh. This is my co-host Carson. And on MFAQ, Marketing FAQ, we dive into real marketing questions, give expert answers, and share actionable insights we found to supercharge your marketing, working with 273 clients over the past 10 years. Enough about us. The first question we're going to dive into, Carson. Is there really a magic bullet in marketing? Or is it just a myth?
Is there a magic bullet? Yeah, it's called doing it right. Like, if you... the term magic bullet, that's always been like take it and use it like, oh, well, there's like this magic thing, like get quick results, like fast money, all those other things that exist, right? When like process is a magic bullet. If you follow the steps, you do them correctly, and you, as we continue to say, come with a strategy in place, yeah, you will have results like you had a magic bullet, but it's not a encapsulated like, oh, do this and you'll 100% of the time get results and it takes you 15 minutes. No.
Okay, so to drive that home, for other marketers that have similar, if not, let's say, less experience than you do, they might look at you and say, you move pretty quick and can get results pretty fast. What separates you from others?
Reps. It's like practice. I know how to hit a baseball. I am not Jose Bautista, right? I'm not doing bat flips against the Royals. Like, I do hit the baseball, and I can put it over, a softball field fence. Okay. I'm not putting it over Rogers, right? Like, and what's the difference between us? Probably skill. That's probably in there. But then reps. He practices it. He does it over and over and over again, right? It's no different than, can I shoot a hockey puck? Absolutely. Am I going to be, Connor McDavid? No. He practiced it every day. It's the same way. I can do something more efficiently and faster than another marketer maybe newer to the industry because I have more reps, right? The stuff that, is second nature comes out of place. And that's the same with when you're trying to get leads. Why some marketers or some marketing agencies might be like, oh, hey, I can, go in and get you results in this amount of time. It's not that like they have a magic secret sauce that's going to get you leads. They might just be more efficient.
Okay. Less wasted efforts because they know what needs to be done based on countless experiences to pull from to get the right stuff done and not fluff around like others.
Well, you just, setting up an ad account. Like setting up a Google ad account, I do it the same way every single time. I know what the steps are. I know how you have to do it. I know what you need to input where and what things you need to turn on for instances of this and that. Oh, you're going to run a shopping ads campaign? Oh, set it up like this. Or you're going to run a lead gen campaign? You set it up like this, right? That type of basic stuff and knowing how to do that over and over and over again, it's no different than, oh, you need to hit a curveball. Oh, you need to hit a breaking ball. You swing it differently.
That makes sense. Okay. So what's the riskiest mistake businesses make when they're trying to force fast results?
I would say it'd be just demanding speed and paying for it. Literally, like with your wallet. Oh, if I put a $4,000 ad budget at this, it'll give me results faster because there's more money in it. Well, that's not true. There is a diminishing returns factor. And if you didn't go in with a strategy, right, you might, waste a bunch of that money because maybe your cost per acquisition is this and you maximize at, maybe you maximize at $200 cost per lead. Maybe that's your maximum. You're never exceeding that value, right? and you said, oh, I'm going to spend $5,000 a day and I need to get 20 leads, well, maybe you're not ever going to hit that because of purely the fact that, oh, the next lead after that $200 cost per lead is actually 400 because it's that's where your diminishing returns kick in.
Okay. So moving on to, I want to come back to that, and we're going to expand more on how do you push and how do you get more out of your marketing. But before that, what gauges do you look at? When you decide to push, when you decide to slow down and build the right foundation, what are the things that present to you to give you an idea of when to push on the gas and when to start pumping the brakes and look back at things that are potentially breaking?
I mean, it's your KPIs, right? So you should have, when you set up any marketing account, first off, you have your strategy. In your strategy, you should set out what your targets are for different metrics. So your CPC, your cost per click, your cost per acquisition, your CPA, your CTR, all these things you need to be looking at, what your target ROAS is going to be, right? You want to set targets for these, right? You also then want to understand what the benchmarks are for your industry, right? Because there are enough data out there to find the benchmarks. And you want to find, essentially, when you go and you execute, you can then look back. Are you below industry benchmarks? Something might be wrong. And then depending on which metric it is, that'll inform you on what aspect of your marketing is wrong, right?
Can you give an example of that? Like what would be an example of X arbitrary industry standard, supposed to be here, you're here, what could that indicate?
Click-through rate. So say your click-through rate is really low, that could mean that your copy is wrong, right? What you're saying in the ads isn't connecting with the audience. It could also inform you that the audience target is wrong, right? Are all of your website metrics, ad metrics really good? So you have a good cost per click, a good cost per, a good CTR, right? You have good on that, but you're not getting any conversions. Something might be wrong with the website, right? Something on the website might be wrong, right? So that's where you have to utilize the multiple different tools, your Google Analytics, your Google Ads account, if you're shopping, if you're an e-commerce brand, maybe you look at your Shopify or your WooCommerce backend. They try to figure out what behaviors are happening and where the breakdown is to lead to a result that pays you money. And that will help you inform as to, what lever or place you need to put the gas or pull it back, right? In the same respect, when you want to increase and scale, you can go, oh, everything's working, everything's really, really good. Now let's increase the budget and monitor those same things to make sure that they are behaving the same way, right? Have we hit the targets that we set for ourselves? Great. Now we add more money because now we want to scale it up until you find that point of diminishing returns, and that's where you move into a different vertical.
Okay. So moving in a different vertical, before we get into that. So you're saying if click-through rate is not where it needs to be, you set a certain standard in your strategy, you're not hitting that, right? So then basically pouring more money, trying to force faster results and getting more people through that funnel. If the click-through rate, let's say it was the copy, if the copy does not change, you could put more money behind an ad campaign, get more traffic to that ad, but not be moving people through because that click-through rate was an indication that there's a key bottleneck somehow.
Well,
is that right?
Yeah, you could add more money for nothing. Like you can try to force an error by putting money on it. It's not going to work, right? If your copy is not connecting with your audience, getting more people to see your message does not make more people click on it, right? If I have, let's say you're in a room full of men, okay? It is a room full of men from ages 20 to 60, and you are giving away free boxes of tampons.
That audience.
Right?
Some people like grab for their girlfriend.
Maybe. Now, if you brought in 100 more men, are you going to increase the rate at which people take them? Maybe not. Now, if you were to say, hey, like, I realize now I've kind of bottlenecked myself with this example, but if you're going to say, hey, I'm going to now bring in, 100 women, I'm going to change my audience in this instance, well, now you might have an increased rate because they're going to take them, right? It's about finding what is wrong and tweaking it based on the numbers you see, right? And that's why things like, for instance, your click-through rate can inform on messaging or audience, right? The message could have been correct. In that instance, my example that I've used, the messaging, hey, free box of tampons, is the right message for the right audience.
That makes sense. Okay. So when a business is trying to diagnose, they're saying, okay, I'm getting X amount. I know my numbers. I can see where these things are at. what's the fastest way to diagnose where the key bottlenecks may be? Someone's tracking everything. They have their click-through rates. They have their customer acquisition costs. They have their CPA. All this fun stuff. They have those numbers and they're looking at it. Where do they find where the biggest priority is? Is it just going back to the strategy and saying, where's the disconnect? Are there other ways to look at this, or is it just strategy, numbers, go back to the basics?
Well, if you started with a strategy, so you start with a strategy, you will have your benchmarks. Your benchmarks inform you of where you should be. Your targets are where you want to be to succeed or to exceed the results that you're trying to get. If you have not met benchmarks, you identify what figure it is or what area of your benchmarks you're not hitting, and each one of those metrics will have a diagnosis path that you can go down, right? If you're at benchmark, but you're not hitting target, then you need to look into a multitude of things. It could be the strategy itself was designed to hit benchmarks, but was not designed to exceed them, right? Or you could maybe have to look at, okay, what benchmarks, what bottlenecks what, right? So like you cannot convert at a higher rate if you don't have enough people getting there, right? Or you have too many people coming through, your CTR is too high, right? Your CTR is way exceeding maybe even your target. So that's always going to pull your conversion rate down, which means maybe you're not niched enough, right? There's different ways to look at it, but it's always by referring back to your strategy. Your strategy is the game plan, right? It's no different than pre-game scouting, right? You go out, you look at what the other team's going to be doing, and then you diagnose from there when you see what's happening.
Okay, and hence why we always come back to back. Every episode we talk something about start with strategy, and then go from there.
It has to be.
Informs everything else.
Well, yeah, like or just keep throwing money into an infinite void. But like we're not talking about clients who have, $400,000, $500,000 marketing budgets every year. We're talking about our clients who spend an average of $120,000 a year, $10,000 a month maybe, or less. Some of our clients only spend $5K a month on average on management and advertising. Like the everyday small business owner cannot afford to make mistakes with their wallet.
Okay. Something that you said stood out to me when you said inform yourself with the strategy, from there track the data, figure out where everything's measuring up, and then particular aspects of the funnel itself, right, has a diagnosis pathway, something along the lines of that. Can you explain that a little bit more? You mentioned a little bit about click-through rate. What are the other major areas people need to be looking out for, and how do they need to think about solving a couple key aspects of this funnel?
Okay, so let's start with conversion rate. You can work backwards. A low conversion rate or an off benchmark conversion rate could inform that the website, there's something wrong with the website. Okay, with the landing page, be it's not built for CRO or conversion rate optimization. There's a frictionful process, right? It can inform also that you are not niche enough in your audience targeting because you have too high maybe of a CTR, which makes your conversion rate diluted, right? It can inform on those things, and then you just have to work yourself back going, okay, like why? For instance, we found that our conversion rate was really, really low, but our CTR was really, really high. It was because we had a CTR, we had a CTA that was very high in the page. I think I've told this story before, but it looked like an piece of anchor text that would bring someone down and walk them through a process, even though it was opening our form. So we were getting a lot of people who were opening our form going, I didn't want to do this, and then leaving, right? We weren't getting them to read through our landing page, which was built to guide them through what the steps are. We removed that CTA, and we saw our conversion rate increase because they started to actually read our value props and why and how we do business, and that's what caused them to do that. We had another client who was an e-commerce client who wasn't accepting a certain type of payment method. They had disabled a very basic payment method by mistake, just it happens. You fix that, and now all of a sudden they're able to see a lift in purchase conversions because, hey, you're allowing people to not have this very limited way of doing business with you, right? That's one. We talked about CTR and kind of things to look for there. You could also just look at your I'm blanking, but your cost per acquisition, right? If your cost per acquisition is off of benchmark, you could have your attribution set up wrong. It's one of the more interesting ones. We had a client who came to us who had a really, really aggressively below benchmark cost per acquisition for sales. So they were getting a lot of leads for very little. And they were like, oh, no, we're really, really great. This is what this is. And I'm like, it's like way below. Like, we're talking like they should be making millions of dollars because of how low it was. And it just wasn't the case. Well, when we diagnosed it, we looked at, it was like, oh, you were essentially setting up someone viewing a page as your primary conversion action when you needed them to submit the form as the primary conversion action. So because that was set up wrong, Google was attributing the result to the wrong event and then was teaching, the AI and the machine learning that goes into how it does its conversion-based, targeting, the wrong thing.
That makes sense. Okay, so let's go back to the original question, the original proposition we're trying to make here. A business is feeling tight on time. Mm-hmm. They're constrained for whatever reason. They need more clients through the door. They need more money. Surprise, surprise. That's the never-ending battle of business. When time is tight, what channels, what tactics would you suggest a business owner move towards? Or is it, again, slow is better? Go back, revisit your strategy. Go do those things. Is there anything that can maximize a short-term result? Or is that just, hey, wishful thinking?
No, like, I'm a little bit spiteful, but the first thing that I would say is, like, you're in this problem because you went too fast somewhere else. You did something wrong. So you either said, oh, hey, I don't need marketing. I don't need to do this. Or ads don't work or something like that. Or you skipped a step in marketing strategy originally and just went with someone who was going to run you leads and it just didn't work. It makes zero sense to just start like trying to force feed it. You are better to slow it down, do it right, because otherwise you are asking a marketing agency, should it be us? You came to me and you said, hey, I have a business. I need to get 100 sales in this next quarter. Otherwise I'm going under. Well, we need to come up with a strategy that's going to get you 100 sales then in the next 3 months, but it's going to be over months 2 and 3. Month 1, we're going to spend setting up correctly. And we plan that way because then at least we know we're going in with a proper plan and we can have the right steps, the right levers, the right phasing in of things to try to accelerate that. Because just going, oh, okay, great, let's go and try and hit go from the start doesn't make you any money. We had a client who wanted to run summer camps. Came to us in May. I need 1,000 registrations for our summer camps by the beginning of July. Well, that's not happening, right? Now, we proposed a scenario on how it could happen if they hit certain benchmarks, but they were very aggressive benchmarks, right? We explained to the client that you probably will only hit this, but hey, if you hit all these benchmarks, we can do it. But we still worked in phases. We still started with a brand awareness phase where we got their message out there, and then we worked with the remarketing and audience-based stuff to then send them through a conversion funnel through June. Also, we adapted the fact that behaviors in May don't necessarily adapt to conversion like summer camp buying behaviors. That stuff typically happens end of June because that's when the realization, oh, my kid's at home, hits. And what we've seen with that client is that their conversions have actually exploded in July. The month that they wanted to stop their campaigns and they thought they needed to be full is the month that they're actually having the most success because the reality of their kid being at home has really dawned on them.
Yeah, they're like, get this guy out of here.
So, yeah, exactly. But it was like, it's the idea of like, he still needed to do something. He still needed to be in a short period of time. It is doable, but we stepped it. We took step approaches. We used a strategy to inform so we always knew where we were going, what we had to benchmark to, what we had to understand. Otherwise, you're marketing in the dark.
So there are no shortcuts.
There are no shortcuts.
Slow is fast.
Slow is smooth, smooth is fast.
Hey, there we go. I left out a couple words there. Okay. Let's wrap it up with some pretty big ideas. My timer isn't going right.
The timer's gone, eh?
I don't know how long we've been here. So, big truth bombs. I like ending on these. We'll do one, maybe two. Have you personally seen a business sabotage their future by chasing fast growth?
Yes, of course. I've seen hundreds of businesses do that.
Tell us about that. You can either call out the particular business.
No, we're not doing that. No, in the automotive industry, so that's my background, is the automotive industry. The amount of times I've had a client come to us and go, hey, I need to sell this many cars because I'm getting pressure from my OEM or getting pressure from the boss, whoever it may be, to do it. I need you to just sell, just do it. And I explained to them the process, and I don't care, do it anyway. I would say 9 out of 10 times I come back to them going, look, we didn't achieve the goal. And I told you this would happen.
What was their response to that?
Yeah, you were
typical
right.
response you hear that? Okay.
Like, it's a financial decision at that point. Like, it's a, hey, like, I told you this would happen. I informed you. You told me to do it anyway. I did my job, and I went and did what the client asked. But because I couldn't plan, I couldn't strategize, and I had to just do it on the fly, we didn't achieve what you wanted to. Not saying that we underperformed, but we didn't achieve the goal, right? I think one client wanted us to sell another 50 units in 2 weeks, right? Through advertising, through driving internet leads to their business.
How does that relate to their overall pace of moving inventory?
They would average 110 throughout a month.
Okay.
But they wanted to increase that to about 160 for the month.
Oh, sweet. So they just want a 50% bump it up.
Yeah, and they gave me 2 weeks to do it. So I had to turn the campaign on, run them, and have the leads flow into their business in a 2 weeks time period. I think I got them 30 leads. It did not equate to 30 car sales. It equated to something like 10.
Which is still great.
A fifth of the result, though. But then when they ask you why, you go, well, because you gave me 2 weeks. It took a day to get the campaign up and running. It had to learn for a bit. There's always a learning phase. It lasts 3 to 4 days. It's a normal thing that anyone in marketing can tell you, right? And then it had about a week. And you're also car purchasing, so it's a $40,000 average, ticket item.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of a faster, larger decision than most people are going to make in a week.
Then whether or not I want to buy this $3 bag of candy.
I said, yes. Now, if we had done it from a strategical standpoint, I would have said, okay, maybe we should do some mining, some email marketing to people who have been in the last 30 days who have not bought. Let's target them. Let's build an email marketing campaign to go ahead and go after them, take a little bit more planning and stuff. But the client said, no, run me Google ads. That's what I want.
Okay, we'll get in. We'll end off on this, and I think kind of sounds like a silly question. Some people listen to this are going to have their own opinions, but interested to get your take on this. Why are people? We're going to go philosophical here, Carson. Why are people so rushed to get a result when if they just gave themselves a little bit more patience, that they could probably achieve everything they wanted and that much more? Why are people so rushed?
Because we have this. We as a group of people, especially even in business, but let's take it all the way down to our personal lives. We want immediate validation for everything. I don't know if you've ever heard of this. Do you know why the achievement system exists for video games?
Dopamine.
It is a dopamine rush that makes people play longer. Because having that little ding, you've achieved this, makes you feel good. It's a reinforcement that you did something well. It's no different than the rat that pushes the green button and doesn't get shocked when he pushes the green, or gets food and pushes the red one, he gets shocked.
I think there's a cocaine experiment as well.
Yeah, sure, we don't need to talk about that.
It's true. It's scientific research. Don't worry.
But it's that idea of like, it's positive reinforcement. We seek positive reinforcement. And so because so many things in our lives start giving it to you so fast nowadays, we want that immediate thing. But when you choose to slow down and take the time and let something come to you with good planning and good responsibility, there's lots of people out there who will tell you that is better. You should treat your marketing like you treat wine. Let it age. Let it take the time that it needs to develop into a fully great tasting thing.
What a fantastic way to end this episode. So, guys, that's it for today. Every episode we put out is built on real hard-won lessons from the trenches, helping our clients grow, win, and connect with the people they're here to serve. If you found this valuable, subscribe on your favorite platform. Check us out at setsail.ca to learn more about how we can help your business grow.